everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Alicia Aini and my PIN number 23411074. I'm student in Management 23EX and I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to talk about something that often gets overlooked but is absolutely critical to every organization: health and safety in the workplace. Whether you work in an office, a factory, a school, or a construction site, your workplace should be a space where you feel secure, protected, and respected. Today, we will look at why workplace safety matters, what type of hazard exists, what responsibilities both employee and employees have, and how we can all contribute to building a safe working environment. First, we discuss about why health and safety matter. So, why do we need to talk about health and safety in the workplace? First, because it protects life. Every year, thousands of workers are injured or even killed because of unsafe working conditions. These incidents are often preventable. Second, health and safety practice help organizations become more efficient and productive. When employees feel safe, they can focus better on their tasks and perform at their best. Third, it's about responsibility and ethics. A safe workplace reflects a culture of care and respect. It tells employees you matter here. And finally, let's not forget the legal side. Many countries have strict labor laws that require employees to maintain a healthy and safe working environment. Non-compliance can lead to fine, legal action, and reputation damage. Now we discuss about type of workplace hazard. Workplace hazard come in many forms, and recognizing them is the first step toward prevention. First, physical hazards are perhaps the most obvious. They include slips, trips, fall, machinery, exercise noise, and unsafe structure. Second, chemical hazards arise from exposure to dangerous substances such as cleaning chemicals, foams, and industrial waste. Third, biological hazards are more common in hospital or food industry. This includes exposure to bacteria, virus, and fungi. Fourth, ergonomic hazard relate to poor workstation setup, repetitive movement, or bad posture that can lead to chronic pain or skin injuries. Lastly, we have social hazard, which include stress, bullying, harassment, and overwork. These are just a harmful physical risk and can lead to mental health problems or burnout. Now we will discuss about responsibility, employers and employee. Safety is a shared responsibility. Employers are required to provide a safe working environment, but employees also have a role to play. Employers must ensure that safety measures are in place, provide proper equipment, conduct training, and regular accessories. They must make sure that every worker understands what is expected and how to stay safe. Employees, on the other hand, must follow safety instructions, use equipment properly, and report hazard or unsafe behavior immediately. Without cooperation from both sides and safety programs can be fully effective. Now, we will discuss risk assessment and prevention. A key part of maintaining safety is performing a risk assessment. That means first identifying potential hazard, second evaluating how serious the risk is, third determining what action can be taken to reduce or eliminate that risk, fourth regularly reviewing and uploading the assessment. For example, if I were working frequently lifting heavy boxes without support, this rate of back injury is high. The solution may include training, using lifting tools, or reorganizing the layout. Risk assessment should be proactive, not reactive. Waiting for an accident to happen is not a strategy. Now we will discuss about policies, procedures, and training. Policies, procedures, and training. Every organization should have written safety policies that are easy to understand and implement. This includes standard operating procedure (COP), second, emergency evaluation plans, third, accident reporting system, and the last, first aid guidelines. Training must also be continuous. New employees need safety orientation. Existing staff benefit from regular refreshers. Clear signal, poster, and safety meeting also help reinforce awareness. Now we will discuss about PPE or personal protective equipment. In many industries, personal protective equipment or PPE is a frontline defense against injury. They include items like gloves, helmets, goggles, masks, and safety shoes. But PPE is only effective first, it fits properly. Second, it's worn consistently. And the last, it's maintenance and replace when damaged. Provide PPE is the employee responsibility. By using its property is the employee responsibility. Now we will discuss about mental health and well-being. Health and safety also include our mental health. A workplace where employees are constantly under pressure, unsupported, or subject to bullying can be just as dangerous as a factory floor with poor lighting. Organizations should encourage a supportive work environment, offer counseling if possible, allow for breaks and work-life balance, and take mental health complaints seriously. Now we will discuss about benefits of a safe workplace. What are the benefits of this effort? First, fewer injuries and medical expenses. Second, less absenteeism. Second, higher morale and better teamwork. Fourth, better performance and productivity. And last, a good reputation with client and regulation. In short, a safe workplace is a successful workplace. Now we will discuss about real work example. Let me give you one example. A textile company in Vietnam experienced frequent injuries due to outdated equipment. After a full safety overhaul, including training and equipment upgrades, they saw a 60% drop in accident and a 20% increase productivity within 1 year. This proves that investing in safety is not a cost, it's a smart business decision. And the last we discuss about conclusion. In conclusion, health and safety in the workplace should never be viewed as a secondary concern or something that only applies to certain industries. Regardless of our work or what we do, safety is the foundation of a productivity, respectful, and ethical work environment. When we prioritize health and safety, we are not only complying with legal obligations, we are demonstrating that we value people over profits and well-being over more efficiency. Throughout this presentation, we explored the various types of hazard, from physical and chemical dangers, the ergonomic and psychological risks. We discussed the importance of proactive risk assessment, the necessity of clear policies and continuous training, and the role of personal protective equipment. More importantly, we seen that workplace safety is shared responsibility. Employers must lead the way, but employees must also be active participants in maintaining a safe environment. Moreover, we must not forget that safety also includes mental health. A workplace where people feel anxious, stressed, and support is not a safe workplace. True safety encompasses both physical protection and emotional well-being. We must foster a culture where open communication, mutual respect, and empathy are part of our daily practice. At the end of the day, a safe workplace is more than just a checklist. It's a culture where people are encouraged to speak up, to look out for one another, and to never to take shortcuts even it comes to health and safety. This culture doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, clear leadership, and genuine commitment, it is absolutely achievable. Let us walk away today with a renewed sense of responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for our colleagues, our teams, and our organizations. Because when safety becomes part of who we are. Because when safety becomes part of who we are, everyone wins. Thank you very much for your time and attention today. I hope this material has helped you see the health of safety in the workplace is not just a rule to follow. It's a mindset to adopt and responsibility we all share. Let's continue working together to build safer, healthier,